The NASCAR Xfinity Series race has concluded from Sonoma Raceway. What looked like was going to be a win for Kyle Larson. He makes a mistake and hands a win to another driver. What's going on, guys? It's Daniel, and welcome back to the video. I just got done watching NASCAR Xfinity Series race from Sonoma. Race is the first annual DoorDash 50 from Sonoma, the first ever Xfinity Series race from Sonoma. We got some stuff to talk about from this race. Let's go ahead and talk about it. So, at start race, had Kyle Larson lead the field from the outside with Justin Allgaier on the inside, and Kyle Larson got a really strong run and was able to clear for the lead with Aric Almirola getting up into second position. Kyle Larson was able to dominate the early portion of the race and continued having a pretty big lead. You actually had Cole Custer, who had a lot of damage on his nose. Also had some contact early between Ryan Sieg and Joe Graf Jr. Both of the RSS cars ended up spinning out in lap number 13, but they were able to continue going on. Then we saw the first Chastain move of the race end up happening between Ross Chastain and John Hunter Nemechek, where John Hunter basically was Chastain going to turn number 12. They're battling for number 12 position, and they spun in the corner, and Ross Chastain's John Hunter Nemechek. But that would not be enough. As they come off the final corner, Kyle Larson would come off the corner and win stage one. Then the first caution race to come out on lap number 20 at the end of the stage for Josh Berry, who was still on the track with 15 position, had some fuel pressure issues, and he would basically bring the caution out. So we saw some strategy in this race for guys like John Hunter, Austin Osage, Cameron Riley Hurst. They actually were basically the leaders at time because they stayed out or came down pit road early, and all the other guys came down pit road. Kyle Larson win the race off of pit road. So then on the restart, Austin will lead the field from the outside with John Hunter on the inside, and Kyle Larson made a really big dive bomb move and got to second position. And eventually, a lap later, Kyle Larson was able to pass Austin Hill for the race lead. Then eventually, a few laps later, A.J. Allmendinger got around Austin Hill, and he was able to clear for second position. At this point, Kyle Larson, though, started pulling away. A.J. Allmendinger, a few laps after he got by Austin Hill, started railing. He was having some smoke inside the cockpit, was able to continue going on. Meanwhile, you had Josh Newens, who was slow on the racetrack with some right front suspension issues. Blood was able to make it back to pit road. That would not affect the outcome, though, as Kyle Larson would come off the corner and win stage number 2. Then we saw some green flag pit stops happening where guys like Allmendinger, Justin Allgaier, Riley Herbst, Sam Mayer, Daniel Suarez, he came down pit road. And then eventually the next lap was how Kyle Larson come down pit road. And after this, Kyle Larson had about a 15 or like a 12 or 13 second lead. But as soon as it looked like that Kyle Larson was going to cruise to victory, on lap number 60, we saw Jeffrey Hart go off the racetrack and spin into the inside wall really hard, bringing the caution out. He just got loose, made a big mistake, and brought the caution out. Then we saw a little strategy where guys like Alex Abey and Daniel Suarez, they basically decided to stay out while everyone else came down pit road, and Kyle Larson won the race off pit road. So then on the restart, Alex Abey lead the field from the outside, and Daniel Suarez on the inside, and Alex Abey had a decent restart. Meanwhile, Kyle Larson actually got stuck trapped behind Alex Abey and handed the advantage to Aric Almirola, who was third position at the time, and eventually got by Daniel Suarez. Meanwhile, Daniel Suarez would also get a penalty for a restart violation. Meanwhile, while that's going on, you have Brandon Jones who had some contact with Jeff Byrne, and he would spin out, but the race would continue on. And as they're coming to 10 or 11 laps to go, came down to battle between Aric Almirola and Kyle Larson. And Kyle Larson was clearly faster than Aric Almirola. However, basically, Kyle Larson and A.J. Allmendinger, they actually had some contact on the restart, and Kyle Larson then got into the inside wall really hard and got some damage from that. But the moment that ended the chop for Kyle Larson winning the race was when he got into the tire barrier and drifted up into the racetrack and got passed by A.J. Allmendinger, never able to pass Allmendinger there. Because of that, Aric Almirola had a pretty big lead, and he would come off the final corner and pick up his first Xfinity Series victory of the 2023 season, and his first Xfinity Series first win in general since 2021 at New Hampshire on a points-paying race. Really excited for the team to win. Of course, this is RSS Racing, so really excited to see this team take the victory. Aric Almirola did get a little bit lucky, but at the end of the day, he held off two really strong cars. This was technically an SHR-approved car that was being worked on by SHR, so it was really cool to see Aric Almirola get the victory. Obviously, there's a lot of future uncertainty around Aric Almirola's future. I think we kind of found out today that it's not Aric Almirola who is a problem at SHR. I think it's more of a Stewart-Haas Racing problem. Stewart-Haas Racing needs to get their stuff together very quickly because I think Aric Almirola proved today that he still has got what it takes. It's a shame because this could be his last full-time season in NASCAR, obviously. There's a lot of rumors about Aric Almirola and his future in NASCAR, so it's really good to see that this could be his last opportunity to win. It was really cool to see Aric Almirola win. Huge congratulations to him. Didn't have the best car all day, but had a top 5 car and got in right position, right time. And you got to do what you got to do to win these races. So now we're going to look at the race results, and I'll give you my score of today's race. So Aric Almirola gets the victory. AJ Allmendinger finishes second. Allmendinger had the second best car today, in my opinion. Not as good as Kyle Larson, but he was really, really strong throughout the day. The 10 car looked strong, but a great day for AJ Allmendinger. Kyle Larson finished third. Kyle Larson straight up threw this race away. He had the race in the back, had the best car all day, and just made a mistake getting a tire barrier. He got gritty, it yanked the wheel, said he had some power steering issues that affected him, and he basically knocked the toe link out of the car. It's such a shame because there's been a lot of times the Larson fan who watches seeing Kyle Larson basically throw races away and lose races, but he should have won this race. It is what it is. It's disappointing. It should have been a second win of the year. He had the best car all day for sure, made a major mistake, and ends up finishing third. Ty Gibbs finishes fourth. I thought Ty Gibbs was going to be a top-tier, top-3 car. Really was a top-3 car throughout the day, but at times also struggled. So good to see, though, Ty Gibbs get some experience. Of course, this was his first ever start in any series racing at Sonoma, so great experience for Ty Gibbs. Great top-5 finish for him. Parker Kligerman finishes fifth. Great day for Parker Kligerman. A great points day as well. Parker did make a mistake at Portland, costing some points, but I think this could put him in a really good position for the playoffs as well. Parker was quiet all day, didn't make any mistakes or enemies out on the racetrack, and gets a very solid top 5 finish. Great run for Parker Kligerman. Cole Custer finished sixth. Great comeback for Cole Custer. Had some damage on that car from early in the race. Struggled a little bit on speed as well, but he was slowly but surely making through the field and finishes a really strong sixth. Justin Allgaier finishes seventh. Solid run for Justin Allgaier. Had probably a top 5 car all day. Got trapped a little bit in traffic on one of the late race restarts, but still a great day for Justin Allgaier in seventh. Austin Hill finishes eighth. I thought Hill was going to be a little stronger, to be honest with you. He's been pretty good at the road courses, but still a solid top 10 run for Austin Hill. Sammy Smith finishes ninth. Sammy Smith had about a 10th place car all day. Thought he would be a little more a factor, but finishes ninth. Not a bad run for him. And Sam Mayer finishes 10th. Sam Mayer with a pretty solid run today. He had points, probably a top 5 car. Didn't have race winning speed, but good to see him get a top 10 finish. Sheldon Creed finished 11th. Pretty disappointing day for Sheldon Creed. He started up front early, qualified really well, but unfortunately Sheldon Creed just did not have the race winning pace to contend. It really had top 5 speed at all. He just struggled all day, didn't have a good car in general, and sadly finishes in 11th place, which is surprising because he was really good at Portland. Probably should have won the Portland race, but lost a shot at that. Brett Moffitt finishes 12th. Solid run for Brett Moffitt. He ran top 15 pretty much all day long, so good to see AM Racing finish in 12th. Daniel Hemrick finishes 13th. Daniel Hemrick, not a great day for him in 13th. Call's been struggling a lot this year with that 11 car. Never ran really better than this all day. He finishes 13th. Chandler Smith finishes 14th. I thought Chandler Smith was going to run a lot better today than he did. Just a very disappointing day overall for Chandler Smith in 14th. And Riley Hurts finishes 15th. Was in the top 10 a lot of the day. Then got trapped back a little bit in traffic. It's a shame he didn't get a shot to contend, but he finishes 15th. Been a frustrating couple months for Riley Hurts. Just needs to get it together. Just a frustrating few months. Hoping they can regroup during the off week. John Hunter Nemechek finishes 16th. Very disappointing run for John Hunter, considering he was good at points in this race. Just his car never really was that good. Never had the raw speed. Car struggled in the long run too. He finishes 16th. Jeremy Clements finished 17th. Not a bad run for him. Ross Chastain finishes 18th. Of course, Chastain, Nemechek in this race gets a top 20 finish in 18th. Josh Blakey gets a solid top 20 finish in 19th. And Kaz Grall finishes 20th. Thought he'd run a little better today. Brandon Jones finished 21st. Again, just another bad performance by Brandon Jones. It's been a disappointing year to be a Brandon Jones fan. If you are a Brandon Jones fan, just been a terrible year for the 9 team. This is not what I expected of Brandon Jones, and they need to regroup during the off week because it's not been a good season for Brandon Jones. Kyle Weatherman finished 22nd. He was in the top 10 before the last race, or I guess he came back down pit road. Still does finish in the top 25 with Estes Greenlight Racing. Good to see Kyle Weatherman back behind the wheel. Decent day for him, but not a great day. Ty Dillon finished 23rd. Not a bad run, basically in the JD Motorsports car. Basically, JD Motorsports given an opportunity to run. Good to see him basically end up finishing in the top 25 in 23rd place. Dylan Lutton finished 24th. Alex Abay, who was actually up front, basically dropped all the way back to 25th place. I think he kind of hurt Kyle Larson's opportunity and chances. Jeb Byrne finished 26th. Like I said, got spun by Brandon Jones. Daniel Suarez got a restart violation. He finished 27th. Never had the raw speed. I thought he was maybe going to get a top 15 finish, but never had the raw speed to contend. It's good experience, though, for tomorrow. Ryan Sieg finished 28th. Brad Perez finished 29th. Blaine Perkins finishes 30th. Joe Graff Jr. finished 31st. Connor Mosack finished 32nd. Disappointing day for Connor Mosack. Probably should have ran better than he did. Had a top to run at Portland, so I thought he was going to run better. He finished 32nd. Josh Berry finished 33rd. Just an awful day for him. Had those field pressure issues that affected him, and sadly finished 33rd. Sage Karen finished 34th. Unfortunately, went off the track due to transmission issues. Josh Williams finishes 35th. Jeffrey Hart finished 36th. Anthony Arfetta finished 37th. And Parker Retzlaff finished last in 38th place. So now let's talk about the overall race as a whole, and I'll give you my score for today's race. I will say I really did enjoy the natural flow of this race, and I still am against stage cautions. However, I'm going to be honest. Even though I'm a big fan of Kyle Larson, the race was not the most exciting when Kyle Larson dominated. Sometimes you're going to have races where they're not going to be as exciting. I did think today's race was going to be a little bit better. And behind Kyle Larson, especially at some points, it was good racing behind. I just think when Kyle Larson had a dominant car, it wasn't the most exciting. It was a decent finish at the end when he had the battle between Almirola and Larson. This did salvage the race a little bit. It was really cool to see an underdog team get the victory. That being said, I can't give this race a really high score. I'm going to give today's Xfinity Series race at Sonoma overall a 5.5 out of 10. Like I said, I wish this race was a little bit better. I feel like it definitely could have been a little better. There were a lot of Cup guys in the field, but I think regardless, you're going to sometimes have drivers dominate races, and it's really, though, cool to see nonetheless an underdog, an upset driver, get the victory in the Xfinity Series race at Sonoma. So, that is going to be it for the NASCAR Xfinity Series race here for Sonoma for the DoorDash 250. I want to thank you guys for watching. Please like, subscribe, and channel notifications on us if I win a video that does go live on my channel. Follow me Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and support me on Patreon as well. Links go below that, and comment your thoughts well on today's race. What are your thoughts on today's race? Let me know below. Let me know your score in the comments below, and congratulate Aric Almirola on getting the first win for RSS Racing and winning his first race of 2023. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Tomorrow on the channel, of course, we're going to have the NASCAR Cup Series race review from Sonoma for the Toyota Save Mark 350. Then on Monday, I'm not sure what video is going to be coming out. It will likely be a NASCAR news video. It will probably be a really short one. Then on Tuesday, we're going to have the top 100 greatest NASCAR drivers video on the channel. That should be a good video that you should definitely tune into. So anyways, like I said, I want to thank you guys for watching today's episode, and I'll see you guys next time for more great, awesome NASCAR content and other motorsports content on the channel like this. Take care, everybody.